Hey guys, thanks for being patient. We're going to be having a look at the second solo in Comfortably Numb today, so let's take a look. Alright guys, let's have a look at the first section. I'm going to start off with a little pinch harmonic on 7 of the 3rd string. And then after that I'm going to hit 9th fret of the 3rd string twice. But on the 2nd strum I'm going to slide to 11. So we're going to go... Hopefully that's making sense. And then we're going to go back to some stuff around the B minor pentatonic, which is where a lot of this solo is going to take place. I'm going to go into this phrase. Let's slow that down. I've got a big bend from 9 of the 3rd, up and back, and then I pull off to 7. And then I want to go to 9 of the 4th, and then back down to 7 of the 3rd. At the end of that, I want to hit 9 of the 3rd string twice and pull off. So let's try that whole phrase thus far. At the end of that, to finish that little chunk, I want to play 9 of the 4th, then go back to 7 of the 3rd. You can add a slight sort of quarter bend if you want to. So from the start we should have this much thus far. Hopefully that's making sense. Let's have a look at the next bit. I want to start off with a slide into 11 of the 3rd. It doesn't particularly matter where you start, just as long as we have that swoopy sound. I'm using my middle finger for this as well. I'm going to jump going into that 11th fret, I want to jump to 10 of the 2nd string with my pointer. And I want to go back up to 11 of the 3rd and then back down to that 10 again. At the end of that, I'm going to hit 12 of the 2nd string as a single note. And we're doing a tone and a half bend. So I'm trying to get 12 to sound like 15. Pretty big delicious bend, but anyway, let's go from the lead into that and then try and get that bend in tune. I want to bring that bend down and pull off to the 10 on the 2nd string. At the end of that, I want to play 12 of the 2nd string and then 10 of the 1st. You can add in another one of those cheeky little quarter bends as well. Okay. We're getting quite close to the end of this section. I want to go to 7 of the 3rd string now, and I'm going to do this. Let's slow that down. I'm going to go 7, 9, and then 9 up and back as sort of a bend up and down. At the end of that, I'm going to pull off to 7 of the 3rd and then jump to 9 of the 4th. And give that some gentle and vibrato. Keep it slow, don't rush it. We don't want to do the bee buzzy thing. Okay, at the end of that, I'm going to work down sort of a little triplet run of a pentatonic. So what I'm going to do is start from the 10th fret of the 2nd string. I'm going to do a pull off from 10 to 7, then jump to 9 of the third, and then backtrack down to 7 of the second string, and then I'm going to pull off from 9 to 7 on the third string, so I go. That's the whole section. So let's take it from the start relatively slowly, and then we'll do it again slower with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. Okay, so from just after that triplet pentatonic, we're going to land the second section on 9 of the fourth. So we're going to have the gentleman's vibrato on that, and I'll work into this phrase. Let's slow that down. Once again, we're pretty much working around the B minor pentatonic. So after I've done that 9 vibrato on the fourth, I'm going to slide from 7 to 9 on the fifth with my ring finger, and then I'm going to hit 7 of the fourth string twice. Okay, and then from there I'm going to go from 9 of the fourth, and then a slight bend on 7 of the third. Just that sort of slight quarter bend. So we've got, at the end of that phrase, I'm going to do 2 9s. So all together. Okay, hopefully that's all making sense. Then I work into this phrase. So what I've got here, a very sort of minute sweep sound. It's basically a chord. I'm playing 7 of the second and the first. At the end of that, I'm going to hit 9 twice, bend it up a semitone, and then pull off to 7 on the first string. At the end of that, I'm going to go from 10 of the second string to 7 of the first, and then a bend from 10 of the second string. So I'll go all together with that new chunk. Let's go from the start of the section thus far, and then we'll keep going. Hopefully that's making sense. The next chunk I want to do a pull off from 10 to 7 on the second string and jump to 9 of the third. Hopefully that's making sense. And then with my flat finger, I'm going to play 7 of the second, 7 of the first, and then both of them together. And we work into a bit of a triplety thing. Something along those lines. So what I've got here is the single note on second, the first, and then together. And then I'm going to do a pull off from 10 to 7 on the second string, and then going to 9 of the third. So it goes. And at the end of that, I'm going to do a bend into a pull off from 9 up and back, and then pull off to 7 on the third string, and then go to 9 of the fourth. So it'll go. Hopefully that's making sense. And then it goes. After that, I'm playing 9 7 on the third again, and then jumping to 9 of the fourth, but there's no bend. So it goes. Hopefully that's all making sense. And then we've got. So what I've got here now, that last little chunk, I'm playing 7 of the fourth, and then 9 8 7 on the fifth. At the end of that, I'm going to slide from 7 to 5 with my pointer, because I'm sort of running out of fingers to use. After that, I want to jump to 7 of the sixth string, and then play the 5th of the 5th string. So I go. So this whole run here is going to go like this. Hopefully that's making sense. Let's go from the start of the section relatively slowly, and then we'll do it again with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. let's go from the third section. I'm going to start off with 3 picks on 7 of the 3rd string. Then I work into this phrase. So it's very pentatonic-y, it's a little bit broken up and choppy, which I think has heaps of vibe. Let's take it slowly. Let's get that phrase. I'm starting with a bend on 9 of the 3rd string into a flat pointer covering 7 of the 2nd and then rolling to 7 of the 1st. At the end of that, I've got to pull off from 10 to 7 on the 2nd string, jumping to 9 of the 3rd. All together. A little bit broken up, as I said. So what I've got here, I've got that slight bend, going from 9 up and back on the 3rd string, pulling off to 7, and then jumping to 9 of the 4th. At the end of that, I want to play 9-7 as single notes, and then pull off from 9 to 7 on the 4th and jump to 9 of the 5th. So we've got thus far from the start. Hopefully that's making sense. And then I work into this phrase. Let's slow that down. I want to play 7 to 5 on the 5th string as regular notes, and then I pluck 7 again and pull off to 5. After that, I'm jumping to 7 of the 6th. And then to finish that phrase, I'm just playing 5-7 as regular notes on the 5th string. Okay, let's try the whole thing thus far from the start, then we'll add the next chunk to it. Hopefully that's all making sense. And then I'm going to slide from 7 to 9 on the 5th. And then I'm going to hit 7 3 times on the 4th string. Go the bend, 1, 2, 3. Then I work into this phrase. So what I've got here is a pull off from 9 to 7 on the 4th. I play 7 of the 3rd, 7 of the 4th, and then back to the 9. So I go. I lied actually. With the pull off, 7 of the 3rd, and then 9 of the 4th. So we go. Hopefully that's making sense. And then I work into this phrase, which is pretty similar to what we've seen a couple of times in this solo. Let's slow that down. So I want to do a 7 note, 7th fret on the 3rd string, leading in to this little bluesy phrase. So I'm going to do the 7th fret, the 9 bend into the flat 7s on the 2nd and the 1st string. Okay, and then I'm going to play 10 of the 2nd string and then a bend on 9 of the 3rd. So we go. At the end of that bend, I'm going to play 7 of the 2nd string into 7 of the 3rd. So all together. And then I want to resolve that chunk on a very cheeky 9 on the 3rd string. Let's go from the slide from 7 to 9 on the 5th. Okay, the last chunk we're going to do, we're just going to borrow basically most of that run that we had at the end of section 2. We're going to do exactly the same thing, except when I get to that 5th fret of the A string, I'm just going to do a pull off to an open note. It's identical. Right up to the slide. So we're just going to add that pull off in, and then I'm going to do a little mini chord playing 7 of the 2nd and 7 of the 3rd with a slight bend. So as I said, identical with the pull off and then that little chord at the end. So that's pretty much all of section 3. Let's try it slowly from the 3 7s at the start of that section, and we'll work through it, and then we'll do it once again even slower with some tabs. One more time, some tabs. Let's take a look at the 4th section. Keep in mind that we've just come from that pull off into that bend on 7 of the 3rd string. So we've just gone from here. I'm going to start this section from 9 of the 4th, lengthy vibrato, and then it goes into it again. So what I've got there is the 9 vibrato into that 7 bend again, and then back up to the 9. So it'll go, and then it'll do it again. Hopefully that's all making sense. And then we'll go back for thirds as well. So we're going to go exactly the same thing 3 times. Then I go. So what I've got there, a bend up and back from 9 at the 3rd string into a pull off to 7, jumping to 9 in the 4th. Nice classic blues. At the end of that, what I'm doing here is I'm playing 7 of the 3rd string, playing 9 and then bending the 9 up. Hopefully that makes sense, and then I work into this phrase. So I'm going to play 7 of the 1st string, a pull off from 10 to 7 on the 2nd string, and then ending on a 10 bend. So we got, let's put the whole section together thus far, and then we'll work on that final run, which is actually quite similar to the one that we had in section 2 and section 3 again. So we've got, okay, and as I said, it's quite similar to the next run. It's quite similar, but a little bit lengthier, I think. So what we're going to do for the start of that, up to that point, it's going to be exactly the same. So we've got the bend, the flat finger, the pull off from the 2nd string, 10 to 7, jumping to 9 of the 3rd. Then we've got the bend up and back into the pull off, jumping to 9 of the 4th string. Once again, the pull off from 9 to 7 on the 3rd, and then 9 of the 4th. So thus far, that's all been the same. Then it goes. This is where it changes and gets a little bit more sort of straight triplet-y good times. So what I've got here is I'm playing 7 of the 2nd string, 7 of the 3rd string, apologies, and I've got 2 pull-offs from 9 to 7 on the 4th, and then I want to jump to 9 of the 5th. So thus far, and the next bit's going to be exactly the same as what we had at the end of the last chunk. So we're going to play 7 of the 4th, 9, 8, 7 on the 5th, slide to 5, and then resolve that on 7 of the 6th. Sorry. So from the 7 of the 3rd string, that whole last run, and then we'll put it all together. That wasn't right. Nailed it. Sorry about the first one. All right, let's take it from the start, keeping in mind that we've just come from that pull off, and then we go from 9 of the 4. One more time with some tabs. Okay, let's have a look at the 5th section. I'm going to start from 9 of the 4th and jump to 7 of the 3rd. And then after that, I want to go. So that next little chunk I'm doing, I'm sliding from 7 to 9 of the 4th, and then I'm playing this little chord here, which is 7th fret of the 2nd and the 3rd string 3 times. So sort of 2 quick ones and then a slow one, and they've all got that sort of very slight bent sound to them. So we've got. At the end of that, I want to go to 7 of the 4th, and I work into this phrase. So what I've got here is a hammer on from 7 to 9 on the 4th string, and then I want to play 7 of the 3rd, and then 9 of the 3rd with a little bit of vibrato. One more time, Chris, you can do this. At the end of that, I want to play a single note on 7th fret of the 3rd string and then hit it as a chord. So it goes. After I've hit it as the chord, I'm going to do this quick pull-off riff. So I'm going to play between 9 and 7 on the 4th, and then jump to 9 of the 5th. So this is what we should have from the start of that section. Hopefully that's making sense. And then I repeat that phrase after a couple of notes. I'll show you how similar it is. I want to play 7, 9 on the 4th again, and then from this chord here, our pull-off phrase is exactly the same. So we're going 7, 9 on the 4th, that mini chord, a pull-off from 9 to 7 on the 4th, and then 9 of the 5th. So we'll go like this. And we do a very similar idea, but my pull-off is going to be on a different string. So I want to play 7 to 9 again on the 4th, and then that mini chord. This time I'm doing a pull-off from 9 to 7 on the 3rd, and then resolving that on 9 of the 4th. So this is what we should have of the whole section thus far. Hopefully that's making sense. I want to hit 9 of the 4th string one more time, and then I'm going to hit this chord 3 times. I jump back up to 9 of the 4th, and then hit the chord 1. So it'll go. So single note, 3 chords, single note, 1 chord. At the end of that, what I'm doing here is I'm playing 9 of the 4th string, and then I'm playing 2, 3, 1 from that flat finger on the first 3 strings. So it goes. Hopefully that's making sense. So that's pretty much the whole section. Let's do it slowly from the start, and then we'll do it again with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. Okay, let's have a look at section 6. So I want to start off with a big bend on 22 of the 2nd string. And then I'm going to play 19, 21 on the 1st. And I'm going to bend up that 21, a semitone. Then I go. So what I've got here is another bend. I want to pluck again at the top of the bend and then bring it down and play it as a single note. This is what we should have from the start. At the end of that, I want to bend it up again and then pick it at the top and bring it down. So this is what we should have thus far. At the end of that, I've got a hammer on into a pull-off going 19, 20, 1, back to 19. 19, 21, 19. Sorry about the pause. And then I work into this phrase. So what I've got here is 2 17s on the 2nd string. Then I want to do 2 bends up. Then I hit it at the top of the bend and bring it down into a pull off to 15 of the 2nd string. So it goes. Okay, at the end of that, so I want to go 15 to 17 on the 2nd string. Then I want to bend it up and back and pull off to the 15. And resolve that on 16 of the 3rd. There's a little bit more to this section, but let's have a look at what we've got thus far. Hopefully that's making sense. And I'm working into this phrase. What I'm doing here is I'm playing 14 to 16 on the 3rd, and then a slight vibrato on 14 of the 4th, and I bring that back to 12, and then jump to 14 of the 5th to finish that phrase. So that's pretty much the whole section. Let's try it from the start, from the 22 of the 2nd string. One more time, some tabs. look at the last section. I'm going to start off on 16 of the 3rd string, and I'm going to slide back in from 14. So I've got, then I go, so after I've slid in, I want to play 15 of the 2nd string, and then go back to 16 of the 3rd, so all together. And at the end of that, let's do that slowly. I'm bending 17 of the 2nd string up, just up a semitone to get that nice bluesy effect. Then back down to 17, and then I want to play 15, 17 on the 2nd string, and cross over to 16 off the 3rd string. All together. Okay, the next bit I do, I want to do a tone and a half bend from 12 of the 2nd string. So if you're looking for a reference point, we're trying to make that 12th fret sound like 15. So it's quite an adventurous bend. Then I bring it down, and I just want to play 12-10 as regular notes after that tone and a half bend. At the end of that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide from 11 to 9, barely acknowledging that 11, and then I play 7. And then I'm going to do a pull off from 9 to 7 on the 3rd, and then jump to 9 of the 4th. After that, I'm going to backtrack to the pointer on 7th fret of the 3rd string. So we've got, hopefully that's all making sense. Let's go from the start of the section, and then we'll keep going. At the end of that, what I'm doing here is a pull off from 9 to 7 on the 3rd string and 4th. At the end of it, I've got a rolling sort of pull off idea. I'm hitting 9 of the 5th, pulling off 8, 7, and then I just want to pick 5. There's a bit of a gap there, which is sort of why we can't carry it all the way back. So let's take it from the start, and then we'll finish it off. Okay, at the end of that I've got 3 dead notes, and then I want to play, I've got 3 chords in a row that are hitting 7 of the 2nd and the 3rd string. We've seen this quite a few times in this solo, so we've got, and I've got a dead note then a chord, and then another dead note and a chord. Hopefully that's making sense. So we're going to go, at the end of that I want to do 2 more chords, which is now going to hit the 1st string. So I'm going to go, after I've done those 2, I do a single, and then I think of the next bit as a group of 5. So I go 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, at the end of that now, I've got another group of 3. So kind of going through a few triplets and a couple of weird timings, but we'll do it all again with some tabs at the end. There's just a lot of this chord, and I will make a point that at this point of the song, it is fading out. So it is a little bit faint to hear, but if you listen to it and listen quite carefully, you can hear all these rhythms. So we had a group of 2, a group of 1, and a group of 5. And I go 1, 2, 3, and at the end of that I go to this. So I'm playing 7 of the 3rd and 7 of the 1st, and I play 10 of the 2nd, and then 9 of the 3rd as a bend up and back. So we had, and that's the whole thing. Let's try and do it from the start, from the 16th vibrato on the 3rd string. We'll go through it all, and then we'll try it again even slower with some tabs. All the time with some tabs. And that was the epically delightful second solo from Comfortably Numb by Pink Floyd. Hope you guys have enjoyed that, and I'll catch you real soon.